Hello everyone, in this video we're going to talk about how we can subtract fractions. So we're going to remember the same rules that we used when we subtracted integers. We're going to add the opposite. So let's get started. Example number 1, we have 1/2 minus negative 1/2. So we could rewrite this as 1/2 plus, we're going to add the opposite of negative 1/2, which would just be 1/2. So now we have 1/2 plus 1/2. Well, the denominators are the same, so we can add straight across in our numerator and keep the denominator. So we get 2 over 2, and 2 divided by 2 would be 1, okay? All right, so our final answer would just be 1 for number 1. All right, number 2, we have negative 4 1/3 minus 2/3. So same thing, we can do negative 4 1/3 plus, and we can do the opposite, so negative 2/3. So now we have the same signs, and now we can just add the absolute value of these terms. But we notice that the sign is negative on both. So we know our answer should be negative. But for right now, we could just look at this as 4 1/3 plus 2/3. And one way to kind of think about this, we could do like 4 plus 1/3 plus 2/3. And now we know, okay, 1/3 plus 2/3, that would be 3/3, which would be 1, right? So 4 plus 1, and that would equal 5. And remember what we said, both of our original numbers were negative, so our answer needs to be negative. So our answer for number 2 would be negative 5. And our last example, number 3, we have 3 minus 4 1/2. So we could rewrite this as 3 plus negative 4 1/2 if we wanted to add the opposite. And now we notice we have opposite signs, right? So we can now subtract the smaller absolute value, which would be 3, from the larger absolute value. So we could write this as 4 1/2 minus 3. So now when we look at this, what if it were just 4 minus 3? Well, 4 minus 3 would be 1, but we do have that half there, so we just need to tack that on to our 1. So 1 1/2. Now let's think about what our sign should be, because we have to choose whether it's positive or negative here, because we started with 2 different signs. Well, we look back at this step right here when we were adding, and notice that our negative number had the greater absolute value. That means our answer should be negative 1 1/2. And that is how you can subtract fractions.